Hello friends, what is up and welcome back to the Loosely Bound YouTube channel. Today we're going to do a little bit of book talk, a synopsis, and a review about When She Returned by Lucinda Berry. I just finished reading When She Returned on the Kindle app on my phone, and I'm not really sure what exactly made me pick up this book. I hadn't read anything else by the author. I'm not even sure if it was recommended to me, but I feel like I just picked it up because I thought it looked cool when I was looking for a new Kindle book to read on my phone. And I am so freaking glad that I chose When She Returned. This book seriously came out of nowhere and hit me so good. It got a 5 stars out of 5 on Goodreads from me, and I just thought this book was freaking wonderful. This video is going to be totally spoiler free, but I am going to let you know a little bit about what happens in When She Returned so you can see if it's something that you might be interested in. If it sounds like something you want to check out, peep that little link in the description box down below and I will link it for you there so you can easily find and order a copy for yourself. In When She Returned, a woman named Kate Bennett, who's been totally missing, hasn't been heard from, seen, anything like that for 11 years, resurfaces out of nowhere at a random gas station with like a small, tiny 2-month-old baby. When Kate Bennett vanished, she left behind her husband and her 4-year-old daughter, Abby. And when I say she vanished, I mean totally without a trace. Nobody had any idea what happened to her. She left one morning to go grocery shopping at Target, and then later her car, her purse, her phone, all of her personal belongings were found in the car, still in the Target parking lot. It was assumed that she had been kidnapped, but no one was able to find her or track her down. After a period in time, her husband eventually remarries a woman named Meredith that he meets in a grief counseling group. Meredith had lost her husband to cancer, and they became a support system for each other because they were able to understand what the other one was going through. But that made things get a little awkward when his wife suddenly reappears and now he has a new wife. Kate's daughter Abby, who was 4 at the time of her disappearance, is now 15, 16 years old, and she's having to deal with the return of her mom that she barely even remembers. When She Returned is told through 3 different perspectives, one from Abby, who is Kate's daughter, one from Kate herself, and one from Meredith, who is the new wife. We also have some time jumping going from present day to past when Kate actually disappeared. I've really grown to love when you hear different character perspectives or different time perspectives because you get to learn so many different details throughout the book that you wouldn't necessarily get if you were just hearing the story from one character's point of view or from one time point in the story. So there's a few key points that made When She Returned such an amazing read for me. I feel comfortable telling you this first one because we learn it pretty quickly on in the book. But a huge part of Kate's disappearance was that she was wrapped up in a cult. And I've always thought cults were just strangely fascinating because it's just absolutely mind-boggling to me that someone has the capability to completely brainwash another person and make them believe whatever they tell them to believe. And I really haven't read a lot of fiction novels that deal with actual cult stories. So I thought it was really, really fascinating to be able to get an inside perspective and just kind of see how that cult mentality worked. I just thought it was really, really intriguing, and I want to read more cult books now. So if you guys know any good cult books, please leave them in the comments down below because I'm into that. The second part that made this book so great for me was how the characters in the book acted like real humans. While this was a major point that I really enjoyed about When She Returned, and a lot of the reviews I read, I feel like it was a downside to a lot of people. People were complaining that the characters were annoying and didn't act logically, but that's exactly how humans are. If you had married a guy whose wife was presumed dead and hadn't been around for 11 years, and then all of a sudden she shows back up and starts living with you and your husband, that's gonna be really awkward. You're gonna act a little bit weird and a little annoying. And if your mom just resurfaces after you thought she was dead and had been gone for 3/4 of your life, you're gonna be a little clingy and a little weird with her too. So yeah, yes, the characters did have their annoying moments, but I do feel like they were acting exactly how anyone else would act in that situation. So for me, that was a huge point that I loved because it felt very authentic. To me, if they had acted any other way, it would have just reminded me that this was a fiction story, and I wouldn't have been able to get into it the same way that I did because it just had such authenticity to it. When She Returned comes in at under 300 pages, so it's not a very long read. The beginning was a little bit of a slow build for me, but once I got about 25% of the way in, I finished the rest of the book that night because I could not put it down. Like I said, I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and for being a book that didn't even come highly recommended or anything like that, I was just completely shocked at how freaking good I thought this was. It's a little psychological, a little bit of a thriller, but I just loved the introspection about how the human mind works and how people react to these scenarios that most people never have to even think of in their normal life. After finishing this, I did add a few more Lucinda Berry novels to my want to read shelf on Goodreads because I thought this was just an amazing book and I really want to see what else Lucinda Berry has to offer. If you've read any of her other novels, leave a comment down below and let me know which one I should check out next. And don't forget, if you want to grab When She Returned, there's a link right down in the description box so you can easily find and order a copy for yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye!